Hello, my friends. Mercy, peace, and love be multiplied to you. I am James, and this is part 5, section 1, The Miracles of Jesus, in the 8-part series, The Son, the Unique One. Jesus is unique in his miracles. There are 37 miracles of Jesus recorded in the Gospels. First, his heart is moved with compassion for the people. In Matthew 14, verse 14, it says, "When he went ashore, he saw a great crowd, and he had compassion on them and healed their sick." In Matthew 15, verse 32, Jesus said, "I have compassion on the crowd because they have been with me now for 3 days and have nothing to eat. I am unwilling to send them away hungry, lest they faint on the way." In Mark 1, verse 40 to 41, it says, "Now a leper came to him, imploring him, kneeling down to him, and saying to him, 'If you are willing, you can make me clean.' Then Jesus, moved with compassion, stretched out his hand and touched him and said to him, 'I am willing, be cleansed.'" I love this story. Luke 7, verses 11 to 15 records, "Soon afterward, he went to a town called Nain, and his disciples and a great crowd went with him. As he drew near to the gate of the town, behold, a man who had died was being carried out, the only son of his mother, and she was a widow, and a considerable crowd from the town was with her. And when the Lord saw her, he had compassion on her, and said to her, 'Do not weep.' Then he came up and touched the bier, and the bearers stood still. And he said, 'Young man, I say to you, arise.' And the dead man sat up and began to speak, and Jesus gave him to his mother." Can you feel the intensity, the jaw-dropping awe of that moment, and the indescribable joy of the widow? Second, his miracles are signs. In the Gospel of John, there are 7 miracles. 5 of them specifically say they are signs. They point to Jesus as the promised Messiah. In John 10, verse 36, Jesus says, "But the testimony that I have is greater than that of John. For the works that the Father has given me to accomplish, the very works, miracles that I am doing, bear witness about me, that the Father has sent me." Jesus showed his power over demons. Mark 1, verses 23 to 27. "And immediately there was in their synagogue a man with an unclean spirit. And he cried out, 'What have you to do with us, Jesus of Nazareth? Have you come to destroy us? I know who you are, the Holy One of God.' But Jesus rebuked him, saying, 'Be silent and come out of him.' And the unclean spirit, convulsing him and crying out with a loud voice, came out of him. And they were all amazed, so that they questioned among themselves, saying, 'What is this? A new teaching with authority? He commands even the unclean spirits, and they obey him.'" Jesus showed his power over sickness. Mark 5, verses 25 to 34. "And there was a woman who had had a discharge of blood for 12 years, and who had suffered much under many physicians, and had spent all that she had, and was no better, but rather grew worse. She had heard the reports about Jesus and came up behind him in the crowd and touched his garment. For she said, "If I touch even his garments, I will be made well." And immediately the flow of blood dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of her disease. And Jesus, perceiving in himself that power had gone out from him, immediately turned around in the crowd and said, "Who touched my garments?" And his disciples said to him, "You see the crowd pressing around you, and yet you say, 'Who touched me?'" And he looked around to see who had done it. But the woman, knowing what had happened to her, came in fear and trembling and fell down before him and told him the whole truth. And he said to her, "Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be healed of your disease." Jesus showed his power over nature. Mark 4, verses 37 to 41. And a great windstorm arose, and the waves were breaking into the boat, so that the boat was already filling. But he was in the stern, asleep on the cushion. And they woke him and said to him, "Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing?" And he awoke and rebuked the wind and said to the sea, "Peace, be still." And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. He said to them, "Why are you so afraid? Have you still no faith?" And they were filled with great fear and said to one another, "Who then is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him?" Shalom Aleichem b'Shem Yeshua HaMashiach. Peace to you in the name of Yeshua, the Messiah.